Hello and welcome to Duck TV Update. I'm Mitch Reams. As both basketball teams prepare for the big dance, the spring sports are just starting to make moves. All that and more right now. Men's basketball has one more conference game against the cellar-dwelling Oregon State Beavers this Saturday. Oregon State etched out its first conference win last Sunday over Utah, raising the Beavers' record to 5-25. The Ducks barely escaped Palo Alto with a win yesterday against Stanford, winning 75-73. With that win and Arizona's loss to UCLA, Oregon has moved into a tie for first place in the Pac-12. Oregon holds the tiebreaker with the team's win over Arizona earlier in the season. Barring a collapse against OSU, the Ducks should be in a good situation to finish first in the Pac-12. On the women's court, the team's path to the big dance is a bit more rocky. Oregon dropped the team's last 3 games of the season, but as of right now, Oregon sits at 41 in the RPI, which puts the team solidly on the bubble in the eyes of the selection committee. The Ducks struggle with rebounding in the team's last couple games, getting out-rebounded by a combined count of 79-53 against Stanford and Cal. With these final 2 games, the Ducks have secured a 6th place finish in the tough Pac-12 conference, a solid finish for a young team. Oregon will take on the 11th-seeded Arizona Wildcats in the first round of the Pac-12 tournament. Onto the diamond, the baseball team traveled down to San Diego for the Tony Gwynn Classic, where the team made it to the finals before dropping the team's first game against the University of San Diego. Despite being in usually sunny San Diego, the Ducks brought the Oregon rain with them, and the rubber match against USD was canceled after 2 days of rain. This weekend, Oregon will return to Eugene for the team's first home series of the 2017 season against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. From PK Park to Howe Field, the softball team posted another dominant performance in the Bank of Hawaii Invitational. The Ducks won all 5 games they played in the islands, including a 17-0 no-hitter win over the University of Hawaii in the final game. Oregon is now 14-0 on the season and will be trying to capture the team's 5th straight Pac-12 championship. The Ducks will now head to Columbia, Missouri for the Missouri Invitational, where Oregon will be greeted with the team's toughest challenge so far in the 11th-ranked Missouri Tigers. Oregon track continued the team's run of brilliance, with the Oregon men taking first place and the women second in the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation Championships. The men were led by King Edward Cheserek, who lived up to his title, setting a new indoor collegiate record in the mile with a time of 3 minutes and 52 seconds. The women were led by Katie Rainsberger, as she posted a personal best in the mile while continuing to lead the NCAA in the 3,000 meters. Oregon's next challenge will be the NCAA Indoor Championships, with the qualifying athletes set to be released this week. Flipping on over to acro and tumbling, the number 2 Oregon Ducks took down the number 1 Baylor Bears on Saturday. A rematch of last year's national championship, Oregon was out for revenge, both against Baylor and against the team's former coach, Felicia Mulkey, who coached Oregon to 4 of 5 championships in her time at U of O. Since Mulkey went to Baylor, Oregon had failed to beat the Bears, until Saturday. The lacrosse team has continued to win close games, with 4 of the team's 5 games being decided by 4 goals or less. With Oregon's 12-9 win over Fresno State, the Ducks have improved to 4-1 on the season and 3-0 in the Mountain Pacific Sports Federation. And now it's time for everyone's favorite part. Top plays. At number 5, the softball team racked up 17 runs, and pitcher Megan Kleiss was 1 hit batter away from a perfect game. She's taking over right where All-American Sheridan Hawkins left off. At 4, Sabrina Ionescu drives the lane and dishes to Maite Cazorla for the game-tying 3. Not quite enough for the Ducks, they go on to lose 49-55. At 3, acro and tumbling's upset win over Baylor. A huge win for the program over the only team in the nation that's had their number the past 3 years. And at number 2, King Edward Cheserek set a new indoor collegiate record in the mile, and with that has established himself as the most accomplished distance runner since Steve Prefontaine. And at number 1, it seems like he's here every week. It's Dylan Brooks with the crossover and the game-winning 3. Let's take one more look at that. Hand in his face, and the Cal student section cannot believe it. That man has ice in his veins. And that wraps up this week's episode of Duck TV Update. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out our website to stay up to date on all things Oregon sports. Signing off, I'm Mitch Reams. Adios.